Hi there, my name is Tom. I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while, and the subject's going to be how we drive roundabouts here in Carmel, Indiana with our 145 and 150 roundabouts in a little town of 100,000 people. It's a pretty significant percentage of all the roundabouts in the United States, and it is an issue for people who don't travel through here very often. Those of us who live here have become quite used to them. And they're obviously not going to all be the same. They're almost all retrofits, so they've had to be designed around an existing street system. And we'll be going through some really simple ones, some that are more complicated, and one or two that are really complicated because there's like multiple levels of them, and you have to be very careful when you navigate through those. The city has been on this program for about 20 years, and gradually over time we have increased the number, and we're still growing. I think we're installing 5 new ones this year. Taking out almost all the stoplights. There's a few stoplights obviously you can't get rid of because of the businesses and stuff that are around them. It'd be very expensive. You have to buy the right of way and build more roundabouts. And there's a few on a very busy street right behind me, Michigan Road, a few stoplights that'll probably never go away because that's actually a state highway and not maintained by the city. So let's get started. So the first roundabout we're going to go through is on 96th Street at, let's see, Commerce Drive. This one is a T intersection, basically. And you'll notice some signage. You saw back there are signs on the pavement, signs by the side of the road pointing to which directions you're allowed to travel. And then this one is 96th Street and Shelburne Road. And there we can see on the right the sign right there, just went by, pointing out which ones you can take. And here you can use either lane to go straight. There is a driveway on the right you can go into, and on the left was Shelburne Drive. If you wanted to take Shelburne Drive, you would have needed to have been in the other lane, the left-hand lane, made a 270-degree turn left, and then exited onto Shelburne. So that's a fairly simple 2-lane roundabout, 2 lanes in each direction, that is, in spite of the fact that the road feeding in is only 2 lanes. They built some wider stretches there to allow the roundabout to be essentially a 4-lane roundabout for a 2-lane road. The next one we're going to come up to is going to be similar but much larger. This is, I think this one has the largest diameter of any roundabout in the whole city. Just by way of what am I doing this with? I've got an iPhone 14 mounted as a dash cam. I've got an external lavalier mic. And you can see I have my HUD displayed up there, heads-up display, so you can see my speeds that I'm traveling through these roundabouts. This one's just like the last one. It widens out here at the roundabout to give you 2 lanes of travel in each direction. I can go straight here, I can turn left, I can go right, but I have to be in the correct lane to do that. In other words, it's important that you know when you get to the roundabout what you're going to do next. You don't want to be switching lanes within one of those roundabouts. And the next one we're going to come up to, you're not going to have the opportunity to switch lanes because it's only it's 2 lanes each direction, and the roundabout itself is only 1 lane. It doesn't have 2 lanes, so you don't have any choices to make up here in terms of which lane you're going to enter the roundabout. So here we are, about a mile, half a mile later, and we're not going to see the directional signs here. What you're going to see is this 15-mile-an-hour sign and just a simple diagram of the roundabout on the right. You'll see a yield sign here, a state of the right sign. Looks like this guy here is going to go straight through. There he goes. And this time I'm going to make a left turn and go north on Ditch Road. Okay, so here's the roundabout I'm talking about. And if you look at the sign that's coming up here, if you're in the left lane, you can only turn left. And if you're in the right lane, you can turn left, go right, or go straight on. And I am in the left turn only lane here, so I cannot go straight here. So I'm going to go around, make a 360, and then shift over to the go straight lane and go back, headed west now. So that one is that way because of the configuration of the streets. This is it's exiting from, it's going from a 4-lane street to a 2-lane street. Now this one's very simple. It's just Spring Mill Road, and it's 1 lane each direction, and we're going to go north on Spring Mill here. Okay. So now I'm at 1/16th and Spring Mill Road, almost. I'm a little bit west of that. I've turned off on a side street here, so I want to talk about very briefly what we're going to do. This is a series of 3 roundabouts with you have to make decisions at each roundabout about which direction you're going to be going. And my wife and I had a little accident at one of these about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was because a young lady chose to try to make a left turn out of the right lane. We were in the left lane, did not see her, and because she wasn't up beside us, we went to go straight, which we were in that left lane. You'll see her in a minute, you can go straight, but she was in the right lane trying to go, we'll be going east, she was trying to go north, and just as we started to make our exit, she hit the front of our car with her car. So here we go, and I just cannot emphasize enough, if you ever come to Carmel, Indiana, start driving these roundabouts, a couple of rules. One, the traffic in the roundabout has the right-of-way, so if you come up to a roundabout and there are people in it, and you pull out into it and somebody hits you, it's your fault. Second, you have to know which lane you're supposed to be in for your intended direction of travel as you exit that roundabout. Otherwise, you're going to cause problems. And the third thing is you really don't want to be shifting lanes in the traffic circle. If you do, be very careful that there's nobody on your left or right that you're going to run into. Use your mirrors. Okay, so here we go. So this is the first one, 1/16th and Spring Mill Road. And I'm in the left lane. I've got traffic coming from the right, and it looks like he's going to go straight. No, he's going to turn. Nope, he went straight, and you saw him cross there. I'm going to exit here straight on. And the next roundabout's just right up here on Illinois Street. You'll see the sign here in a minute. There it went by. I can go straight or turn left from this lane. Car in front of me, the same. There's a Sonata off over. You can't see him on the screen, but he's on my right. Going through the roundabout, he can turn right or go straight. So I'm going to go straight here. I could turn left. The next roundabout is going to be Meridian Street, or US 31, at 116th Street. This is what we call a dumbbell roundabout. It's actually two roundabouts, one on each side. And you got to be careful here because it's 4 lanes each direction. Nobody coming, so we'll just navigate through here. We're going to continue to go straight. From this lane, I can turn left, go north on 31, or go straight. Speed limit here is about, I think it's 35. You'll notice that I am slowing down significantly as I go through these roundabouts, and that's actually a good thing because what these roundabouts do is they allow traffic to keep moving, but you're forced to slow down. We have had a few idiots that didn't slow down, tried to go straight through the roundabout and hit the decorations out in the middle, and did one of them, I know, did $100,000 worth of damage that his insurance company had to pay for. And the guy that would hit the obstacle in the center was badly injured too. Must have been going pretty fast. Probably, I don't know, who's to know. I never read the accident report. So here the speed limit is 35. And we're just pretty well keeping up with traffic, doing a little over the speed limit. And we're coming up on a very simple roundabout this time. This is College Avenue. It's 4 lanes on both sides, so we're just going to go straight here. Car just passed me on the right. That's perfectly legal in Indiana. You can pass on the right if the road is clear, no problem. Let this guy get out here a little bit ahead of us. Oh, well, no, he's not going to. Okay. And then next up, Guilford and 116th. And it's the same thing. We can take either lane if we're going to go straight. Left lane for left, right lane for right. I'm going to go straight. And then I'm going to make a U-turn at the next roundabout. So we have arrived at this junction. This is Old Meridian Street at Carmel St. V's Hospital. So the first roundabout here is going to be one I'm going to want to turn right on. The next roundabout I'm going to go left on, so I've got to switch lanes right here. My object is to get westbound. Road closed ahead. Smoky Row Road is closed for a construction project, so we're going to go stay in the left-hand lane here. I don't want to go right. I'm going west right now. But I want to stay on here. Continue on. There's all kinds of entrances and exits. You can see this is pretty complicated. And then we're going to stay in the left-hand lane. This is, I think, the 4th roundabout we've been through. And there's another one up ahead. I don't want to go on Eglin Drive. I want to go on 136th Street westbound. And here we are. And then up ahead is another roundabout. A very simple one, though. The road narrows down here to 1 lane each way, and so this roundabout only has 1 lane in each direction. Now, I'm going to make a U-turn here. You notice there's no direction signs on the street or on signage here. It's pretty obvious what you have to do. I'm going to go back eastbound on 136th Street and go back through this roundabout because I want you to see this map up here. Green map. That is a complicated roundabout system. And I want to actually, if I turn right there, I'm going to get back on Meridian Street, and I don't want to get on Meridian. So let's go this way. Go straight there and go to the shopping center, but I want to keep going right. And I got traffic here, so I have to stop and get behind this little Kia. And we're going to go south past the hospital on Old Meridian. This is a roundabout you really have to know and be careful of, and know all the streets that are coming in, going out, have it in your head which way you want to go. Here, the sign saying if you want to go Smoky Road Road, make a 270. If you want to go to the hospital, like that guy just did, you can take a right there. But we're going to go south on Old Meridian Street here. And we're going to go across Meridian Street. And again, what you're going to see here is a fairly complicated set of roundabouts that get you through a couple of intersections, across Meridian, and then we're going to go back south on Spring Mill Road. So here's the first one. I'm going to stay to the right here. Grand Boulevard. Next up is the Meridian Street Roundabout Complex. And I'm going to turn left when I get across Meridian, so I'm going to go ahead and shift into the left lane here. This is the first one. I'm going to go straight, stay in the left lane, and it gets pretty busy on some of these main streets. You got to be really careful about who's doing what. So this Chevy Blazer just went by in front of me. I had to stop and let him get through. He has the right of way. We are now across Meridian, and we're about to turn left and go north on Spring Mill Road. I'm sorry, not Spring Mill, Illinois Street. Spring Mill is a little farther west. And if you're looking at those clouds, yes, there's a cold front coming through, and so we actually have severe thunderstorm warnings out today, starting in about an hour. So let that Subaru go by, and I'm going to turn left on Illinois. I could go down to Spring Mill. It's just right down there, but let's go on, well, go back north on Illinois Street. Spring Mill was just a few hundred yards to the west. So, to recap, turn on the cruise control and set it at 35. Driving in this roundabout system is pretty easy as long as you obey the signs and know where you're going. Here I want to go straight, stay on Illinois, so we'll navigate that. I could have been in the other lane easily, and the speed limit just went up to 40. So set the cruise for 40. As long as you drive reasonably, stay within the speed limit, more or less. Pay attention to traffic. Particularly in these roundabouts, traffic is going to be coming at you from the left, so always be looking left, which really got me into trouble a few years ago. I'd gotten so used to looking to the left when I went over to England and rented a car over there, and for a 2-week vacation, at the third roundabout I came up to, I looked left. There was somebody obviously coming from the right, and I got really honked at when my car started to move. But luckily I didn't get very far before this guy honked. So I'm going to be turning right up here, which means I need to shift lanes. So check the mirror, shift to the right, and then I'll be heading home. And one more thing, this is the mileage that I recorded for all those roundabouts, 58.5 miles per gallon. That was 15-mile drive maybe in city driving. It's pretty darn good for a 2022 Accord. This one is a hybrid, so it just goes to show you that because we're not doing a really stop and go, we're doing pretty much continuous movement, keeping, using that energy in the gasoline to keep the car in motion, not sitting idling at stoplights and four-way stops, that it does help gas mileage. I don't get anything like this in other towns where running into stoplights and stop signs and having to stop and go. Yeah, I did stop a few times, but not much. So there's another big advantage to roundabouts. They do result in increased fuel efficiency. Thank you for watching. This map is the most recent I could find on the Carmel Roundabout system. If you appreciated this, a little click on the like button would be nice. And please leave comments if you have any.